Hello, my name is Mike Summers. I'm a sixth generation Falkland Islander. I'm also a member of the Legislative Assembly of the Falkland Islands Government. I've been going to the United Nations Decolonisation Committee for many years to ensure that our right to self-determination is heard and respected. Despite inviting the committee every year to come and visit our islands and see the truth for themselves, nobody has ever visited, and Argentina does its very best to ensure that the truth is not heard. Just like the falsehoods in Ruda's speech in 1964, Argentina continues to tell untruths about the Falkland Islands in order to advance their claim. Their claim to our islands is not based on true historical fact. They ignore our human rights, and calls by us for discussions on matters of mutual interest continue to be ignored. The government of Argentina doesn't want you to hear our voice. But if you want to know the truth about the Falkland Islands, listen to these Falkland Islanders, and they will tell you the truth.
The islands were first settled in the 1760s by Britain and France. Britain was first to set foot on the islands and claim them on behalf of Great Britain, and never removed that claim. In 1833, a 26-man garrison from Argentina that had been in the Falklands less than 3 months was ordered to leave. Some of the few citizens living in the islands at that time, including some from Argentina, chose to stay under the protection of the British flag. And in the 1840s, families began to settle in the islands again.
There was no indigenous population in the Falkland Islands. Like the rest of South America, our nation is one built on immigration. Hundreds of years ago, our descendants came from Chile, Uruguay, Argentina, Canada and Scandinavia, as well as the UK and Ireland. Descendants of those families are now 8th and 9th generation Falkland Islanders.
In November 1849, the Convention of Peace was signed between Argentina and the United Kingdom. The convention resolved the Falklands issue, amongst others, in order to restore a perfect friendship between the two nations. For nearly 100 years, the people of the Falkland Islands had peace.
We are economically self-sufficient and internally self-governing. Our relationship with the United Kingdom is one of mutual respect, and they support our islands in terms of defence and foreign affairs. Our democratically elected Legislative Assembly writes the laws of the islands and sets the policies by which we live. In March 2013, 92% of Falkland Islanders voted in an internationally verified referendum, and 99.8% chose to remain an overseas territory of the United Kingdom.
It was a series of aggressive governments in Argentina that made the sovereignty of the Falklands an issue in the 1950s, after the Falkland Islands had established generations of heritage. Now, many years on, the world has changed, and the freedom of people to choose their own future is a basic human right. Self-determination is enshrined by the UN Charter. You cannot ignore human rights. But when we try and talk to the Argentine government, they refuse to talk to us.
In 1999, a UK delegation, including members of the Falkland Islands government and a delegation from a government in Argentina, signed a joint statement. It reached agreements on access and air services, fishery and confidence building. We are the only people to consult with regards to our future and our economy, and that was recognised once. The last two governments in Argentina have walked away from these agreements. They've refused to acknowledge that Falkland Islanders exist, and they've refused all offers of dialogue.
The Argentine government claim that because the Falklands are 300 miles away, they should be part of Argentina. You cannot claim someone's home simply because you live nearby. The Falkland Islands belong to the Falkland Islanders. We are the people who invest in our country, and we will decide our future.
The Falkland Islands have their own laws and constitution.
The Falkland Islands are economically self-sufficient.
The Falkland Islands are internally self-governing.
The Falkland Islands chose a relationship with the United Kingdom.
The Falkland Islands is my home.
The Falkland Islands' future is our choice.
My voice matters.